under those bright lights in those debates and holding her accountable for her ultra-liberal voting record. She's not just a Democrat. She's not just a liberal. She is an ultra-liberal, and we have got to make sure that we put someone up that will be able to withstand that fire and beat her in November so that we don't lose this swing district. I'd ask for your support. As Robert said, everyone took all my good lines. You know, at least I'm not young or Zahn, then there will be nothing left by the time you get together. But we need reverse alphabetical order at least once, don't you think? But anyway, we always hear alphabet. Anyway, sorry. You know, I would love to earn your vote. I would love to earn your trust as a person that can carry the Republican banner the best in November. I'd love to be your first choice on the 21st, wherever we might meet. If I can't be your first choice, we never know how these things turn out. I'd love to be your second choice. I'm standing here because I think I can check those boxes. I think I can win in November. I think I'll vote right for you guys, and I think I'll be effective once elected. I hope you agree, and if you do, we'd love to have your support. And if you're going another way, I'm just glad that you guys take this vote seriously, and you do your due diligence, and I can respect that, and I can live with the results. So thank you very much.
David Young.
It's great to be here, folks.
You know, over the course of this cycle, this election, I visited Council Bluffs many times in Pottawattamie County, and I'm so happy that I got second place here. I couldn't quite get to Matt Schultz, the hometown boy, but I invested a lot of time here because you are important to me, and I'm committed to this county, this part of the state. There's 16 counties here, as you know, in this district, and I will be everywhere as often as I can when we're not in session, should I be elected. So I want to thank you for that. You know, this election's about the future, and all elections are. This one is very important. I want you to ask you, do you want somebody who can hit the ground running and be ready right away for Iowa? You know, I was Senator Grassley's chief of staff and was entrusted by him to serve Iowa and work for him. And when you're in office every day, you learn a lot about Iowa, more than you thought you could, because you're on the phone with Iowans every day, you're in meetings with Iowans, and you find creative ways to break through the bureaucracy on behalf of Iowans. So I know what works and what doesn't work, what can be done and how to get it done, and I can hit the ground running for Iowa. Experience is going to matter in this race. I was chief of staff for Senator Grassley, and I led the Republican chief of staffs. So I'm going to have some connections there when the House passes their legislation and something is sitting over there in the Senate's desk. I've got connections over there in relationships to help move legislation or stop it. And I will use those relationships on behalf of Iowa. I know the bureaucracy. I know how to penetrate it. And I want you to look at this administration right now. It is out of control. And you want somebody who can go there right away and hit the ground running and use those tools of oversight and investigation to keep this government in check. It's out of control. It's watching us. It's stealing our rights. I know how to watch it. Senator Grassley taught me how to do that, and I will lead, and I will have the courage to do those things. I'm battle tested. I'll tell you, about a year ago, a little over a year ago, when the Sandy Hook shooting took place, the gun grabbers came out of nowhere. We knew they were there, but they came out, Mayors Against Illegal Guns, the Obama administration, the liberals, and they tried to pass a bill on the floor of the U.S. Senate to take away our guns. And I got on the phone to some fellow chief of staffs to try to find some partners to work with Senator Grassley. Grassley and Ted Cruz came out with a bill, and they beat back the gun grabbers. So I know how to battle these liberals who try to take away our rights, and I'll do it in the House. I'm battle tested. And I'm electable. I've been through the fire. I've been campaigning for a whole year. And I've been put through the test. And if there's anything in my past, it would have been out by now. The worst they can say about me is, David Young, you worked in Washington, D.C. You know what? I did. But I worked for you. And I'm proud to have done that work. And I will never shy away from battling the federal bureaucracy and liberals who try to take away our rights. I will never shy away from working for Iowa in any capacity, anywhere. Senator Grassley taught me three things, really, that are most important to me. How to listen, You're my boss. I can be no better advocate if I don't know what your concerns are. 2, you're my boss, period. It's not Mitch McConnell. It's not John Boehner. It's the folks in Council Bluffs, Sidney, Greenfield, Van Meter, where I'm from. And 3, as a person of faith, you can get things done out there without having to sell your soul. And I'll be guarding our faith as well when the government is trying to trample our religious liberties. I'm David Young. I would ask for your support, delegates. And those who aren't delegates, some of your friends are delegates. If they're asking about David Young, tell them what you heard. Tell them to give me a call. My phone number is 515-371-5669. It's a pleasure to be here, and I plan to be back. Thank you.
And last but not least, we have Mr. Johnny.
Thank you. I'm used to it. When I was a kid growing up, I always had alphabetical order. You're a Z, you're at the end of the alphabet. I'm glad to be with you all. I think it was something that I think all of us candidates planned on, because I've said it all along. You all have a tough choice. This is an incredible slate of candidates. And I don't even need the position. I know who I vote for. But I can tell you, we did have the vote on Tuesday night. I had a phone call. I was on a call about 6 o'clock before the polls closed, which was 9 o'clock. And I was talking to someone, an elderly person in southwestern Iowa, and she said to me, I haven't went out and voted, but I'm really scared to go out and vote. And I said to her, don't go out and vote. The best thing, and I said it that night, because there was a lot of TV coverage that night, is I was worried about what happened here as well as what down the Southwest. It really puts everything in perspective. And my wife and I, and by the way, the reason why I campaign and I say that I will be home every weekend because I want to be with my wife. She's right over there. And my wife, Dee. I'm so glad. We've been in Pottawattamie County all day long, Dee and I. And we've been going to a lot of your doors. And I am a grassroots candidate. I can tell you that I was happy about what happened on Tuesday night. I won the primary. Now, obviously, I didn't get to 35%. So I got to work extra hard. I got outspent 4 and 5 to 1. What I do is the grassroots work. I have a record. I've mentioned this many times before. I've filed a lot of these bills down at the state senate on term limits. You really don't have to guess where I'm at on issues. I can tell you that as a state senator, you do get a lot of pressure from the lobbyists, from the leadership of your party. And I've never caved once. And I'm not going to do that. The reason why my wife and I, we're a team, and we are going to be out the next couple of weeks knocking on a lot of doors. So we're doing this for the future of our kids. And I'm not going to sell out, and I'm not going to change. I've said this many times. Too many of them go out there with good intentions, but something happens to them. They lose the reason why they forget why they went there. I am not going to make decisions based on election. I have been threatened so many different times in so many bills, and I'm not going to change. And finally, I served with Stacey Apple for 4 years. Okay? I've debated with her one-on-one. My wife's my clerk at my Capitol. She can tell you that. I've seen where she votes. I've studied her through the years, just observing the vote she's taken. There is a huge contrast between all of us good candidates and her. And I am battle tested, and I will take her to task. I will not get outworked, and I ask you when you go to the convention, and I humbly ask you to consider at least that I was the first place finisher, and that can look at my record. I ask you, I want your first ballot, but if I can't get your first ballot, I understand, because there is a lot of great candidates. I may humbly ask them for the second or third, or whatever this thing takes to do. I'll be there, I'll be working my tail end off with my wife until that date. And I'm very honored and humbled to have the opportunity to have conversations with all of you. God bless you all.
Thank you, congressional candidates. I think we can agree that we have a lot of talent to choose from, and I think everyone's vote is very hard to decide, because listening to them all, they're all great candidates, and I appreciate the way you've all ran your campaigns, and I just think that's wonderful. So now, I think what I'm going to do, we're kind of out of sync, but I'm going to call Joel up just to kind of give us what the latest and greatest news is. Can you do it in like a minute or so?
Easily.
Awesome, thank you.
Apologize for my dress. I actually forgot there was going to be a meeting tonight, didn't bring any extra clothes, and I thought about being worried about it for a minute, but then I thought, well, I'm only a state central committee member for another 10 days, so you might as well see me what I'm really like. The situation with the state party is right now, we had everything locked down, and I was on my way here tonight to tell you exactly how things were going to go, and then I got halfway here, and I got a bunch of text messages and phone calls saying we're back to square one, because the location that we had has now become the 4th location in a row to back out on us and say there was a scheduling conflict that they didn't let us know about beforehand. So we're looking for another location right now. As soon as, what I wanted to say mainly is that when that becomes evident, we will post it on the Iowa GOP website. So for everybody, since we're on a limited time frame here, be sure to stay on that website and look at it real rapidly so we can find out what the latest is going on. Go ahead.
Joel, the location, and how about the date? Date is set in stone?
The date's set for right now.
Can we get them to change it back to the 14th? There's no reason for us to make 2 trips. We could do it all in one. Everybody's planning on the 14th. Whoever made that decision.
No, the 14th is the state convention.
Right, can't we do it the same day?
No,
That's-
there's not enough time.
That's been brought up, and as I understand it, that is being approached again right now, just because of the lack of location. That's on the table again. I don't know whether that's going to go through, because I've talked to the organizational director, and from an organizational standpoint, we could be looking at a convention that runs based on the time that Steve King's convention ran. You could be looking at a convention that runs till midnight. And so we're trying to find out how many people would actually stay for that, whether we'd even be able to keep a quorum that long. So we're trying to get that done, and I'm actually working with the organizational director and some other folks to find out if there's a way to merge those two and make that happen organizationally, where we're not overtaxing our resources or compromising the integrity of the vote.
Thank you.
So that's what we're looking at right now, but you know, the time crunch is really on us. So, and of course, we made these plans with the presumption that there might be a Senate nomination to fill too, which would have made it impossible to do it on the same day as the state convention. So we're trying to go on the fly here, and these locations aren't helping us at all. So that's all I have, but check the website. And one more thing, I just wanted to thank all of you. This is my last time here as a state central committee member. I didn't run for re-election. Thank all of you. This has been a home away from home for me, and I've just really appreciated it every time I've been able to be here. And hopefully I'll be here in the future to see more.
Thank you, Joel. Now we're back to some quick housekeeping. I did email out the information regarding the agenda and the minutes from the May 1st Central Committee meeting and the Treasurer's report. So, and I also have copies up here if anyone needs those. So, do I have any questions or anything on the May Central Committee, or could I get a motion? Charlie?
I make a motion for to approve the minutes.
I second it.
Thank you. And the Treasurer's report, I know it's very, very large because of the Lincoln Reagan dinner, which I'm so glad so many people attended, because this is going to help us fund what's coming up with the elections in November and make it a lot easier for us. So could I get a motion on the Treasurer's?
Who?
Who did that?
Bill.
Bill. And a second?
I'll second it.
And all in favor?
Aye.
I'm sorry I didn't do that on the minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. You're supposed to call me on those.
You're doing great.
Thank you. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is our committee reports. We don't have, is Steve Anders here?
No.
I didn't see Gerald either. And Myra had planned on attending but had a family emergency. So we're going to go ahead and go now.